the one in Canyon and Nakabed and goes losing Canyon was only really Bubunia and sorry. Marcola Nivano, who fought for children in the Great Capital. On local song again, I did my room. All the massacre. Now, last song the people be up and table, but we didn't make a cut of one but in the full about Kanya. We have a country over the line, never be good like the bread. Open a carry on like you. Open a give a run will put at the Africa, very number of God who for one to keep this visit that was being able to see. Also, come on, a little of them. I see Jennifer, how the push of the grand area. Open open soga now, can keep running about us who will not go and song in our palia. No, no, either. No one in the cricket. When I only get son of a baby, Jackie will sign it for them. But who take Canyon as another kind of woman, no, believe not that it would check in like a provision. The record of new pension, your promo to Jessica, where I wish to come in that is again. No, be after. He can put it into a way, man. He can put a little bit of house of it. He had not so much of whom I got church. What was it in the Kagato? I was in the best of the Yaman. India, home we are walking within the Japan, and as a paper. Oba hands for a Kagato. And over now, you want to must be any of them. Over and over, like I can not get bread, and was when I don't see IQ being one in ending Jesus' experience. Almost every in the hand of one in the bread, and was no love over Biafra, and keep the people. Yanya Mawisha Magani is in what Agani City. Yanya Mawisha get rich. Which is the point of Panini, and brought up with us like Biafra. I got my way to it. Julia and so get the one in the way. Malaysia is the more Biafra Bunuchi. Or one in the Gadapia. Where say, no Bucci in a Caprumin and a Biafra of one man. And you were not to us from a Jama address or hands, so you still be Canada. He said, I prayed in the language of heaven. That's the believer. That's from the Musi. Or that's the believer. My people in Akwa Ibom and Cross River, they say Abbas. My brethren in Ijoland, they say Kamono. All glory belongs to thee. Our people. From the Shikari, they will say Moses. We call him Moses, the same thing, the same family, indivisible under God Almighty in heaven. Now we are going to preach this very gospel as mandated by heaven. Because heaven will give us message we give to the living. If you don't have a pen and paper ready with you, then you will not learn anything at all. This evening goes out to all the affiliates of this world, those who believe foolishly, I should say, and idiotically believe in one Nigeria. Those who, out of self-hate and depreciation, jettisoned everything that made them human, and instead subscribe to an identity given to them by foreigners, by Europeans. I want all of you to pay very close attention to this very podcast this evening. Umahi, Wike, Obiana, Opusodemba, all these people, the slaves. I want you to pay attention to what I have to say. All those in Abuja and in Lagos, foolishly spending the best years of their lives in another man's land. This is also for you this evening. You have heard this clip before, some of you 1,000 times over. But this evening we want to bring a fresh meaning and perspective into what this very Janjaweed said very many years ago, before now. Before Biafra, Utuku's Biafra, I should say, and now before the Biafra of IPOB. What this man had to say predates the 1966 coup. What this man had to say predates all the difficulties and problems that have bedeviled the zoological republic to date. I want you to understand something this evening. I want to prove to the whole world, because I know that the British, those that run the zoo, the British High Commissioner, Katrina Lang, is a woman, a white woman. US ambassador, all the diplomats that are listening, because anytime we broadcast, the whole world comes to a standstill, they all listen. They are listening this evening. And I will invite them to also bring their pen and their paper ready, please. I want to prove beyond every conceivable doubt that Fulani is the problem of Nigeria. Fulani started the problem of Nigeria from day one. Over the years, they toned down their rhetoric, they moderated their behavior. Now they have come into a battle with AK-47 and their Nama, their cow. You have listened to this clip a billion times over. This was the clip I played in the year 2015 that led Buhari, because Buhari is dead. He led Buhari to comment about Radio Biafra, to say that they will ban Radio Biafra because of this very clip I'm about to play now. And I want you to come to this broadcast this evening with an unbiased mind. Come very clean and clear, that God Almighty may judge you justly. I am going to play this very clip for you. And upon this very clip and what this man said, are we going to base our discussions and analysis this very evening, morning, noon, or night, depending on where you are. Listen very carefully, I beg of you, please. It's very, very important. And as I'm doing so, please, somebody should endeavor to put it on my page. In fact, on all the platforms, that the world may know that we are not the aggressors, that the world may know that Fulani people are troublemakers. Fulani people never wanted Nigeria to work from day one. Fulani people, they are the thing that Nigeria is backward today, is down to only one group of people, the Fulani tribe. When I say it now, I know that Kadir Mohammed will say this was what obtained in Rwanda, in places, and things happen. It's pure rubbish. What we are presenting this evening are facts and figures. Please listen very carefully, especially if nephews from Igbo land. Listen very well. All the idiots talking against Biafra, listen very carefully. All the idiots campaigning for one Nigeria, one Zoo, listen very carefully, please, to understand how foolish you are. I have now come away from blaming Britain and Europe for coming to Africa, bastardizing, balkanizing, dividing, and rendering us asunder, all of us, and giving us artificial boundaries, which we accepted because we are very daft. I want to bring the problem closer home. I want to bring the issues closer to you, especially for those of you who are in Nigeria, to understand the depth of your stupidity and your foolishness. I'm not insulting you. I'm only giving you facts that will guide you away from darkness into the light, which we are pointing you towards. Listen carefully, please.
Major talks about killing your premier. Add on top of that the North's general hate of the East, and you can start to get the picture of the sort of tribal tension Nigeria was heading towards. One thing I've noticed, Premier, while I've been here, is that Northerners seem to have what's called an obsession about the Igbos. Could you perhaps explain that to me?
Well, the Igbos are more or less the type of people whose desire is mainly to dominate everybody. If they go to a village, to a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area. If you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, within a year they will try to emerge as headman of that camp, and so on. Well, in the past, our people were not alive to their responsibilities, because you can see from our northernization policy that in 1952, when I came here, there weren't 10 northerners in our civil service here. And I tried to have it northernized, and now all important posts are being held by northerners.
Is this policy of filling all key posts in the north solely with northerners and not with other Nigerians a temporary or permanent one?
In actual fact, what it is a northerner first. If you can't get a northerner, then we take an expatriate like yourself on contract. If we can't, then we can employ another Nigerians, but on contract too. This is going to be permanent, I should say, for as far as I can foresee, because it will be rather dangerous to see the number of boys who are now turning from all our learning institutions coming out with having no work to do. I'm sure whichever government of the day might be, it will feel rather embarrassed, and it might even lead to bloodshed.
Doesn't this damage the ideas of all people in all regions in Nigeria being citizens of one country?
Well, it might, but new to our region, but how many northerners are employed in the east or in the west? The answer is no. And if there may be 10 laborers employed only in.
I hope you have listened to, that is the voice of the man that Buhari was emulating when he came into office. Buhari was following the footsteps of this very man you've listened to now. He was the Sadwana of Sokoto, the leader of the Northern Nigeria People's Congress. He was the leader of the North. Every time you had a Janjaweed say, their founding fathers, they were referring to this very man. You just heard his voice now. He was interviewed, should I say, rather bizarrely, independently, so to speak, by a BBC journalist. I believe that was in the late 50s to early 60s. These are the people responsible, so we are told, for bringing the so-called, should I say, flag independence to Nigeria. Anytime you hear, be the Senate President or anybody from the northern part of the Sioux talk about their founding fathers, they were talking about this man. And this man was asked this question by a white man. The interviewer is a white man working for the BBC. They asked this black man, this very baboon, his name is Sir Ahmad Bello. He was knighted by the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth. Understand this very clearly. That is why I said it is better for you to bring your pen and paper this evening. Even if you don't come to lectures again without a pen and paper, it's better for this evening you must have one. Very, very critical, please. This man, alongside Awolowo and Azikiwe, and to an extent, Kafawa Balewa, they were responsible, so to speak, for, should I say, forging the new Nigeria that Britain had created. It was in 1960, after independence. And he was asked a simple question, a very simple question. Why do you hate Igbo people so much? These are Fulani people. I want I want to oppose for them. I want all of them to, I want them to pay attention this evening. I want to harness again and touch with you also very, very particular attention, because what this man said in late 50s and early 1960s is still prevalent today in our lives. And I'm going to put it to you this evening, one after the other. The man asked him, in other words, this is where I get upset with Captain Lang and the so-called British mission in Nigeria. Britain is aware, because this is a BBC journalist interviewing a Fulani leader. When there was no strife, there was no war, there was no problem. When they were planning and creating their useless one Nigeria, please pay attention, please. Pay attention, please. To understand how foolish we get, to understand how foolish to understand how foolish anybody talking about one Nigeria, I want to prove to you tonight. Heaven is my witness that the person is a fool, especially if you're a Biafran. They asked this man, and when they talk about Igbos in those days, they're talking about everybody from the East. In fact, to an extent, including the West. These are the people they claim that created one Nigeria for us. These are the people they call their founding fathers. That is why after this broadcast this evening, I do not think that Nigeria can never be the same again. They asked him, why do you hate the Igbos? At the time that this question was being asked, there was no Fulani herdsmen problem, no banditry, no insurgency. There was no problem. There was euphoria all over the world that the largest black nation had emerged. That they call Nigeria. And this is one of the leaders, one of the leading lights of that very period of history of Africa, so to speak. And what he started with was hatred for Biafrans. In other words, for a BBC journalist to ask Ahmadu Bello, why is it that Fulani people are obsessed with hatred for Igbo people? But I'm telling you, that didn't happen yesterday. Please, I don't want you to, do not misquote me or misunderstand me. This happened many, many years ago as Nigeria was being formed. They asked him, why do you hate Igbo people so much? Not only that, the man asked him, why do you have, and the question is a type of madness. In other words, BBC of all people, BBC and by extension the British government knew from day one that Fulani had an obsession against Igbo people. That will kill them. That way, they knew it. Everybody knew it. But Azikiwe decided to keep quiet about it. The same thing that Igbo governors, Eastern governors, Biafran leaders are doing today. That is why we are in the mess we are in. Because this is the person who founded, co-founder of the new Nigeria that Britain had created. He is the Fulani leader. It was because of the death of this man that we lost 5 million people between 67 to 70. It was because of the death of this man that Gowon declared war on Biafran people. It was because of the death of this man that was why Aburi never stood. The agreement between Ojukwu and Gowon never stood a chance of working because the Fulanis were hell-bent on avenging the death of this man. I'm going to play his voice once again, and I want people to please try and determine for themselves if by killing this man, Nzogu had done anything wrong. It was Nzogu that killed him because Nzogu was a Nigerianist. Nzogu was a patriot. Nzogu felt that what we done, I want to let the world understand what led to the war and why Britain said that Nigeria was going to war against Biafra. You must pay attention this evening. I'm begging you. I'm going to play his voice again. Before he started, somebody I provided an intro, kind of a voiceover, for you to understand, so that what is happening today with Fulani Janja Buddhism, banditry, the hatred, the fact that when this regime of Buhari came in 2015, their plan was a northernization agenda. But this northernization means that a Fulani man will occupy every position of importance in Nigeria. This thing was said over 60 years ago. But in 2015, when Buhari was, they implemented it, they are still implementing it to this very day. That is why I feel sorry for the South, by which I mean the East and the West. I even want for your brethren who are listening to pay very close attention. I want them to understand the mess everybody is in the South. I want them to begin to appreciate the level of trickery, the level of vacuum, the level of deception the Fulanis are willing to deploy in order to conquer you, both spiritually and physically. Because as at the time this man said this very thing, when I say this, I hate Fulani, I don't hate anybody. It was Fulani that hated me first. They did not just hate me first. They have consistently hated me. Are you listening to me? Now I'm going to play it again. Listen to the intro and listen to the voice of the man they claim created Nigeria. And you will understand from what he's saying, it is what APC is implementing today. Everything. Fulani party. Fulani party of bandits and terrorists. That's what they said. Northernization agenda. The North. First. And some of you will be wondering why is it that Fulani has this hatred for Igbo people. I want to for them to pay very close attention. I want to harness Indiana and Josh to pay attention. I want every Fulani to listen very carefully. You may be wondering, why is it for no reason we were not at war in the late 50s and 80s? Nothing was wrong. We did nothing to Fulani. Fulani, the Fulani leader, the leader of the Fulani people, the leader of the entire North, came out and said, we hate people. And now, how can you blame me for hating them? I don't hate them. I'm only trying to fight them or stop them from killing our people. 2011, Buhari kept contesting. People never knew the reason why Buhari overthrew the government of Shagari. Buhari, this is mentor. His hero is Sadwana. If you listen to him when he was alive, if any of you paid any attention to what Buhari was saying, Buhari kept saying that they killed Sadwana, that's his hero. The reason why Sadwana hated the Igbo people was because the East was the only part that their type of Islam never got. You may think it's about politics and economic development. It's because the Fulani sword and Quran got into Yoruba land. The Fulani sword and Quran participated in the Islamic novels. The Fulani sword and Quran got into even popular tomorrow morning. And they will never stop. I want to for them back. I want policy stuff. I want to harness them and to pay very close attention. The reason why they keep telling every day, stay in one Nigeria, do what you can, is because they want to conquer you. It's their job. It's in their bone marrow. It's in their DNA. This is a man who is a nationalist. The most painful thing is that Britain knew about all these things, but they kept quiet. Britain never said anything. Britain kept quiet. I want to play it for you again. This is the leader of the Fulani people. I want to say that the hatred they're pouring out today, the reason why Buhari can form a government and there is no Igbo man in it, the reason why they can be doing all the nonsense they're doing, customs or not, EFCC, whatever, is because it is a grand plan. And I want you to compare and contrast the behavior of Fulani politicians with that of idiots from the village in the south. Do you see how the Fulanis laid down template? Not just a template of political domination, but a template of complete and total annihilation of every indigenous ethnic group in Nigeria. What APC is carrying out today was laid down before even 1960. They have been pursuing that same agenda, year in, year out. But some of you are so blind to understand what lies in front of you. This evening, we are exposing them that the world may understand, that the world may know why we are doing what we are doing. I'm going to play it for you once again. Please pay very close attention. And this time around, I'm going to interrupt. As they proceed, I will interrupt to analyze and bring your knowledge and understanding the evil that Fulani portends for everybody, not just for Igbo people, not just for Biafrans at large, but not even just for the entire South, but for everybody who calls himself a Nigerian. Because as at the time that this man said this, uttered these very, should I say, vengeful words or insightful words, Nigeria was not at war. There was euphoria everywhere. Independence is around the corner. They're about to take over everywhere. Every black people are about to rule black land. That was done it for it. This is the man that they refer to as their founding father. This is the leader of Boko Haram. This is the leader of Fulani bandits. This is the leader of Fulani headsmen. This is the leader of every terror group that has ever emerged. He is the spiritual leader. He's dead, of course. His death was what caused the war. Because Britain wanted vengeance. Britain knew that Fulani hated Igbo people. Because Britain hated Igbo people. Britain hates Biafra with the passion. Raw hatred. Raw hatred is the same hatred that the Fulanis have. You cannot expect. Why Britain hates Biafra is beyond me. We are Anglicans, so we are Christians, so for your information. We are still Anglican Church. We are Christians, amen. England is supposed to be a Christian nation, but their hatred for Biafra is immense. And it is very ironic. The only part of the zoo called Nigeria that is entirely, or should I say, homogeneous Christian, no Islam. That is the people that Britain hates most of all. And every Sunday like today, every Anglican church in Biafra land have contributed their money. Very soon they will ship it all the way to Canterbury. Are you following what I'm saying? I want to listen once again, please, to understand those who are the fermenters of trouble in Nigeria. I want to prove to the world tonight that Fulani people are the originators of every problem in Nigeria. It was because of this statement and the statement that this man made at Stanhurst. That was why Izzogu killed him. Not because of any hatred for Fulani. And tell me why such a person should be parading himself as a Nigerian. In fact, even the journalist asked him, should Nigerians be free to live anywhere they like? He said no. He said no. And tomorrow morning you sing a pledge to Nigeria, my country. You see why I call Nigerians fools and animals. This is the reason why. Because they can reason very well. I don't understand the reason why somebody should be proud of a country where those they claim shaped it are against a particular group of people. Because Islam did not get them. Because they did not conquer us. Let me play for you again.
Major.
Listen.
Talks about killing your premier. And on top of that, the North's general hate of the East. And you can...
The North hates the East. Ask yourself why. They love you as they do it. Because that's why they said, when you never punish, we're not living, we're not going anywhere. That's what the ATR said. A terrorist group. That, and now and again, they go to Asoro and they collect their own share of the money. They buy more weapons, they charter private jets, they fly in with weapons, and they're in our forests, killing us every day. I want people to understand what I'm saying tonight. It's very, very important. Why is it that the North hates the East? What is this hatred and evil man I'm asking? Because we are hardworking, because we are blessed, because Elohim is with us, because anywhere we go to, we bring life, and we bring blessing of God upon that very place. Is that why you hate us? For no reason. Everybody knows. Now, why do you want us to stay in a land brimming with such hatred for a particular group of people that led to the death of 5 million of those people? We are the only people in the world. Only Biafrans are the only people in the world having suffered the level of genocide we were subjected to, or should I say, the Holocaust. And we are still in that same country that killed us. Only us. No other people. Nowhere else in the world. That is why we must change our thinking. That is why the likes of idiots like Wike and those of them about these idiots who must reason tonight happen. I think Wike has been listening to our broadcast now. He's changing Oyibo name to one. If he was sincere, he should have gone a step further to say Port Harcourt is a white man's name. The name is Igbocha. Maybe someday, sometime in the new Biafra we shall get there. I want you to listen once again to what this animal has to say. I call an animal because only an animal can speak this very way. His hatred is not for white people. No, not at all. In fact, he said that I will give jobs people that colonized you and subjugated you. He said, don't worry, I'll give jobs to you. Well, before I can give it to an Igbo man. And you know what I'm saying? I will give jobs to a white person. This is Africa. You're so-called Africa. One Africa. Let Africa be united one. These are the idiots that made it possible for Africa to unite. And he's a nationalist. Yeah, true. He's a founding father. I've gone before the end of the week. He is the founding father. I want you to pay attention tonight. For goodness sake. Listen.
Start taking a picture.
Yes.
The sort of tribal tension Nigeria was heading towards.
Tribal tension before 1960. So what is happening today has been there from the beginning. And I'm asking people, you have suffered this test for nearly 60 years. The same tribal tension for 60 years. When is Nigeria going to get back? I'm asking. When will this tribal tension stop? The fact of the matter is that it can never stop. Never, ever, ever, because the hatred is deep rooted. It's in the system. We cannot help it. Because we have not conquered the East. That's what I say. We have not kept our Quran in the Atlantic Ocean that flows and the coastal lands of the East. We must take them. And that's what they're doing. Do you understand them now? All of you that believe in one Nigeria, do you begin to see that what you did was merely to dig your own graves? You have dug your graves. I'm telling you. That's what you have done. Look at the mindset of the people that you are in the same country with. And this man, you can hear from his accent, he's Polish, he's educated. I think he studied at, I don't know if he was Cambridge or Oxford. You can hear, he's the prince of the Fulani. You can hear him the way he speaks. Very crisp English. was this man that made me to realize that mastery or command of English language does not confer upon you any, should I say, any intellect of any sort whatsoever. It doesn't. The fact that you can speak English doesn't mean you're intelligent. This was the man that made me to realize that by fact. Listen to him, please. This is the founding father, so to speak, of Nigeria. Fulani. I want to prove to the world that it was the Fulani. What is happening in Nigeria today is the cause of the Fulani. They are the problem that you have. Listen to him.
One thing I noticed, Femi, when I did.
That is the voice of the British interviewer, BBC journalist, asking him. He's asking him, Premier. He was then the Premier of the North, asking him, Premier. One thing I have noticed is the obsession, the hatred, the raw hatred the Fulani have for Igbo people. Where is it coming from? A white man, BBC, they realized all the way from London that there are these few tribes you have, in a place called Nigeria, they themselves created. One hates the other. And wants him there. Yes, we're talking about one Nigeria. I'm asking you, with this level of hatred, on what basis, therefore, are you campaigning or championing one Nigeria, especially if you're from the East? On what basis, I ask you? How, please explain to me. On what basis? Let us hear the journalist and the question that he had to ask you.
Yeah, is it Northerners seem to have what's called an obsession about the Igbos?
Northerners have an obsession about the Igbos tomorrow morning. That is why we are told that Ahmed Lawan, now the president of their so-called Senate, went to Mosetta and was saying everybody should come and join APC. This is a plan from the beginning to conquer us from the beginning. Conquest! But unfortunately, a typical evil idiot in Abuja or Lagos cannot seem to realize this. The handwriting is there on the wall. They cannot seem to realize what is going on. A white man all the way from Europe is asking a black baboon in Africa, why do you hate your fellow black man? The man said, I will give you job as a white man. The same white man that we are struggling to become independent from. The same white man that killed us, put us in jail and everything. And that is the man that is the hero of Fulani. Do you understand it now? Do you now see why this shoe must fall? Do you see why Nigeria cannot stand? Do you see why anybody championing one Nigeria is an absolute and total issue? The fool will be done with the fool. Do you now understand why we say so all the time? Listen, please.
Could you perhaps explain that?
Explain to us what
the Hebrews are more or less the type of people whose desire is mainly to dominate everybody.
In what way? I want to answer the full Alexander with this was, I want you to understand. I want to also let you people know this evening or morning or night, depending on where you are. The reason why I said anybody calling himself a Niger Delta or South suffer from the same mentality, the same idiocy. Do you see where they got the nonsense from that Igbos are domineering? And in a short while, I will ask this man to tell us in what way, or should I say ways, are Igbos domineering? Because if you go now to some parts of Cross River or Akwa Ibom, or how you say before, not now, not anymore, and Bayelsa, or Delta and Icon, we don't want to be dominated by an Igbo man, especially my young brothers and sisters. Echoing the same sentiment of the Fulani Janjaweed that hates them. Because when this man was talking about the Igbo people, he was talking about everybody from the East, and sometimes from the West as well. Listen carefully. One Nigerian is, listen, look, I believe in one Nigerian, let's be the future. This is their template. It can never change because they are Janjaweed. They follow their leader, whatever their leader does, whatever the lessons they go and keep, go and keep. This is Fulani Janjaweed. This is the man that the late dead Buhari was following in the footsteps. Now listen, they asked him, why do you hate Igbo people? He said, because they are domineering. It's something they said about the Jews all over Europe. Just because they're successful, because God blessed them. That is all, and nothing more. I hate Jews. Why? Now, I don't know, but I hate them. Why do you hate them? Oh, they took over the banking system. Okay, because they are doing something that you cannot do. You can think about Igbo people like in this called Nigeria. By Igbo, I mean the whole of Biafra. I want our people to pay attention tonight so that their brain can be cleansed properly. They asked him, a wise man asked him, why do you hate me? Asking a funny man, I want Fulani to know that you brought the hate for me. You are the original haters of other people. You have no right to complain. You people are the original haters. You started hatred before anybody else. Listen to what he has to say. Igbos are domineering. Now we want to find out how the Igbo people go to Sokoto and take over Sokoto. An Igbo man, the Sultan of Sokoto, is an Igbo man, the Emir of KANU, is an Igbo man, the Emir of Bantu. I don't know. How did they dominate you?
If they go from a village to a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area.
They want to monopolize everything. As I told you, these are congenital liars. Fulani are liars. They are liars and deceivers. And I feel sorry for some of you in DC. Some of you are proud Fulani to deceive you. They can't deceive you. They can never deceive me. They asked the premier of the premier, the political head of the North. He said, why do you people? They are domineering. How? Any village we go to, they want to dominate everything. Now I want to ask you, Igbos were everywhere in the North. Is an Igbo man and Emir in the North? From before you find them today, they said they want to dominate. What they say is that God bless them. Because there is something about Biafran people that the Fulanis can see that the Fulanis cannot see themselves. This man understands one very simple fact, that the Biafran people are like the Jews of Africa as reducing justice, and wrote in his memo to President Nixon that he believes that Biafran, especially Igbos, are the wandering Jews of Africa and reducing justice. Go to the memo, go and check. Go to the Library of Congress in America and go and check. I'm not going to give it to you. Some of you are very lazy. You cannot do the research. How the heck is you say that? How are they dominating you? They are dominating me by coming into my town and developing it. They are coming into my town and teaching our children how to read and write properly. They are opening businesses. They are successful. That is how you dominate them. Are you listening to me? So because Britain is the largest inward investor into USA, that means that Britain is now dominating USA. Or in the late 80s and early 90s, when Japanese people and businessmen were the highest investors in the USA with Toyota Nissan factory and everything else, that means that Japan is now dominating USA. Do you see how they reason? Do you see why I call them gentlemen? Do you see why they are praying? Do you know this is why I cannot be in the same country with this level of hatred? Why do you hate me? Okay, because I am successful at business and economics. And because of that, I should be killed. The Fulani, are you listening? I want to prove to all the Fulani that the hatred today in DC was brought about by Fulani Janjaweedism. Listen carefully.
If you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, within a year they will try to emerge as headmen.
If you put them in a labor camp, if you take Igbo people in those days, Biafrans, I mean, anywhere they are, you put them in a labor camp, that's what he's saying. They will emerge as the headman. Why are they emerging? Is it not the same way that Joseph emerged in the house in Egypt, in the house of Pharaoh, from nothing? You show that the blessing of God is upon these people. You cannot support. It's the same way we come. You see the moon, your hand cannot cover it. It's blessing. It is called blessing. It is not domination. It's blessing from God. And that blessing is for the whole of Africa. Not just even for Nigeria. For the whole of Africa. The blessing that Biafra brings to you is for the whole of the black world, wherever you have any black person residing. You cannot stop it. Nobody can stop it. That blessing from God. That is why a white man can see a Biafran laborer and say there is something in this man. Because of that, I'm going to make him the head man or the foreman of this family. Because the blessing of God is upon that man. He said, well, it is upon Israel. You cannot just say it's a blessing from anyone. You can't take it away. Blessed, instead of people to see this blessing, what they say is they are going to dominate me. Do you understand it now? Theological Republic. Are you following me this evening? I heard this evening special broadcast. I want the world to understand. I want, because I know the youth ambassador is listening, the UK Commission, all of them are listening. I want to know it was Fulani that brought me here to Nigeria. Fulani, no other person, Fulani. This is their master speaking. This is their progenitor speaking. Over 60 years ago. And all those things he said over 60 years ago are still prevalent today in the damnable what you call Republic of Nigeria. Why do you hate them? They dominate. How are they dominating? If you put them in a labor camp, because at the time that this man was referring to, all the labor camps, all the factories that are run by white people, by the British. And because of what you may say about them, those people, they know how to be even-handed. If you're hardworking, they'll promote you. These British people saw the blessing upon these people from the east, children of light, saw them. That was why Igbo people dominated the civil service of the state, not because they wanted to, because God's mercy and blessing was upon them. That is why they are hated. Not because they've done anything wrong. You hate them because God is with them. And no man can destroy it. So that's what they do. They call it domineering and domination. Now you understand me, don't you? Do you understand now? The Igbo people are ancient people, very old, the oldest people on the face of this very earth. KANU, Igbo, ancient, that's the meaning of it. Old people, old. The center of the world. That is why they occupy the center of the world. Zero longitude, zero latitude, the very center, the very beginning of life itself. God did not make any mistake by placing us there. I want all of you, both the Fulefus and those who are normal, who are listening to me this evening, to understand this very gift. The more we misuse this gift that God gave to us, the angrier God will be with us, and the more destruction we are likely to face. And there is only one solution to this problem: freedom. Because when freedom comes to Biafra, freedom will come to every black person on the face of this very earth. That is that thing that people see, and they say they're domineering. They are this, they are that. It's a blessing from God Almighty. Let us listen to Fulani Janjaweed. Why did you hate an Igbo man? If you place him in labor, did you place an Igbo man in labor camp? The time that you are referring to, it was the British who were in charge. It was the same white people that were picking Igbo people and making them foreman and headman, because the grace of Elohim is upon them. When you see them, the light of God is shining. That is why they give their children names like Chibueze, Nnamdi. All of these names were raising Chinya, gift from God. Now you understand it, don't you? When we answer all these names, we wear it on our forehead, but we don't know what it means. We answer Amono, we answer Obasa, we answer Abase. It's on our forehead. We answer Olisa. We are so much loved by everything that even the name of God answer. Why shouldn't God's grace be upon us? Do you see why Biafra cannot be destroyed by any mortal? It's indestructible. No matter how angry God is with us, He remembers His promise. He remembers the purpose for which Biafra was created. And that promise must come to pass, because the word of God said, Instead of my spoken word not to happen, heaven and earth will come to pass. Upon that very authority do we stand to proclaim that Biafra will come. If I feel it, there is nothing that God cannot do. But to the ordinary person living in the flesh, to remain mortal, with a pro mindset, you cannot understand it. It's only those of us in the spirit that can see it. You have to be able to discern what is happening, to be able to understand what Biafra is. Somebody are running about shouting, Biafra, Biafra, they don't know. They have no idea what Biafra means. You people is an example of the fulfillment of God's promise upon the lives of men. In other words, Biafra is beyond politics. Biafra is beyond what man can understand. Now you know why we answer God in heaven. Unashamedly. Why do you hate people? He said you are dominating. How did they dominate you? Because anywhere they go through, the grace of God is upon them. Even the white man will call them and ask them to head the factory. And then their brothers will come and they will receive more blessing and they become millionaires and they become billionaires in a land far removed from their own. Because the grace of God is with them. God goes before them. That's the name they give to their children. Before we come to your land, God has already prepared it for us. Not to conquer you or to dominate you, but to prosper that you also may prosper. Only if Africans can see this. Only if. Only if Africa can understand what Elohim intended to do with Biafra. Maybe one day they will. Let's listen to this Janjaweed.
If they go to a village, yes, or a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area.
What do you call monopoly? Is it not the same monopoly that Dangote is having today? Do you know that in the USA, of course, we're going to take it to court in the USA. It's called antitrust laws in the USA. If you run any monopoly anywhere in the world, you will go to prison in the US for 25 years. No monopoly is allowed in the US. If you go, I think there was a report that came out a few days ago, making it very clear that Dangote is running a monopoly. The same people accusing us of monopolizing everything. They are the ones that monopolize pasta. They monopolize Indomie. They monopolize salt. They monopolize sugar. They monopolize cement. And now, finally, they have monopolized petrol as well. Because only Dangote refinery will be working. I want people to reason, especially those that went to school from the south. I want to put your mind to this. They talk about monopoly. To generate a fund with the game plan. In order to conquer, they are like Lucifer said, and we will go into darkness. In order to conquer the light that is from the east. There are some people. They turned everything on its head. They closed all the refineries that were working, and they now gave license to a Fulani man, only one man to refine petrol. They took away cement license from everybody, including Ibeto from the east. They gave it to Dangote. Only him can import cement. Only him sugar. Only him salt. Only him pasta. Only him Indomie, whatever you call it. Noodles. The same thing they are using other people of. And sometimes people shouldn't be. When you have other tribes joining them, saying Igbo man did this, Biafra this, Biafra that, don't blame them. The devil, anybody who rises up to castigate Biafra is a child of Lucifer, a child of Satan. I can never make it up. I said it many years ago, a few years ago. Anybody against Biafra cannot make heaven. If you listen to this broadcast tonight, you will understand the reason why. We answer Chief Bozo. God goes before us to prepare a way for us. And then we come. And the grace and the blessing will be coming out in abundance. You won't understand it. It is not our own making. It is not him. We are his children. He must bless us. We can anoint him all we like. Do all the things that we do. He will punish us, no doubt. But in the end, that blessing is there. It cannot get away. Because anytime God gives his blessing, doesn't take it back. It's not mine. Don't worry. Why do these people? Because they want to dominate. They are successful and God is with them. That's all. That was the reason why they killed 5 million people. And today, we're talking about Biafra. Because Biafra is the promise of the Most High in heaven. Listen.
In a labor camp, yes. A laborer, within a year, they will try to emerge as headman of that camp.
They are not trying to emerge.
So on. Well, in the past, our people were not alive to their responsibilities.
In the past, the Fulani did not realize how to stop the Igbo man. Fulani did not realize how to stop Biafra. But now we have realized it. That is what they said over 60 years ago. That is what they are still doing today. You must pay attention, please.
Because you can see from our northernization policy that in 1952, when
they now have a northernization policy. I'm going to this thing is talking about happened in the late 50s, before independence. Listen carefully. In the late 50s, before independence, that same thing is happening today. You know, that's what I will show you. It is called a colonization agenda. All those years that Buhari was crying for losing elections, it was because he was saying that what their progenitor is saying, they wanted to freeze this job of jihad by stealth, started by a descendant of Osman Danfodio. You are listening to the voice of the Satwana of Sokoto. He should have been the Sultan of Sokoto. But because he was into politics, they gave him a special title, the Satwana of Sokoto, and shipped him to Kaduna, where he was reigning, where he was the king. Now listen carefully. He said, we are now alive. This was the man that wanted to continue what his great-grandfather started. His great-grandfather is Osman Danfodio. He's a prince. That was when they came into Delta, exactly when they came into what is it again? Into Delta. I want to remember what is it, old age or what? I keep forgetting things these days. Opanam. When they got to Opanam, Zogu's village, they killed every male child in Opanam. Almost. Only those outside survived. Because this is the prince of the Sultanate. This is the prince of the Fulani Emirates. This is a direct descendant of Osman Danfodio, the man that defeated Hausa people and took their land. This is his great-great-grandfather. You are listening to his voice. Osman Danfodio, that's the great-great-grandson. The great-great-grandson is still 3 generations or thereabouts before him. Either the great-great-grandson or the great-grandson, one of those. And an Igbo man killed him. That is their anger. But who wouldn't kill this idiot after listening to him? He sounds like a bandit. The banditry and terrorism is like this thing. You can hear him, he sounds like a bandit. Like a bandit. So I'm going to Okana. It was that man that killed him. Because the Zombie said, what he was saying, sir, is anti-Nigerian. That's all. That's why he was leaving. They killed all of our people. Look at how you go reason. Do you see the reason why anybody fighting for one Nigeria is bound to end in misery and failure? Do you understand it now? Do you not understand it? Listen once again, please.
There were 10 Northerners in our civil service here. I tried to have it northernized, and now all important posts are being held by Northerners.
All important posts are being held by Northerners. This happened in the north. Now, Buhari in the 21st century, or those ruling in this place, because idiot is dead, and now doing something at a federal level. Northernization agenda, more like colonization agenda. He said every important position is now held by Northerners. And in a short while, I'll get through all this. Even today in 2021, every important position is held by a Fulani Northerner. Do you see how they play their own game? But you can never understand this. And ordinary people can never understand this. Let's listen.
Policy of filling all key posts in the north, solely with Northerners and not with other Nigerians, a temporary or permanent one.
In actual fact, what it is a Northerner first.
Northerner first.
If you can't get a northerner, then we...
If you cannot get a northerner, we hire a white man like yourself. He's about to say, if we cannot get a northerner, we hire a white, not a fellow black man, not a fellow African, not African listener. When I hear you say African listener, you see I laugh at them. This is supposed to be a Pan-Africanist. This is meant to be a man that fought for independence for his so-called country. He is meant to transcend tribe and religion. But here he's saying it is going to be a permanent feature. Permanent! Northern first. And today it is happening. And I want to prove it to you that it's happening today. Zoological Republic. You must pay very close attention to what this man has to say. Very, very briefly. Then I will tell you why they have consistently, they group people, they train them on that modernization agenda. It doesn't change. It doesn't matter who is in power. Another has to be the chief of army staff. Another has to be the chief of defense. Everything is not. Everything not. You see the reason why? They know what they're doing. Because they know that we are black people. After a while, we accept it as a norm. It can no longer offend our senses anymore. Did you see it? Do you see that it didn't start today? This northern first, this modernization started all the way in the 1950s, over 60 years ago. 60 years ago, over 60 years ago. Give a friend one bag of rice and 2 teaspoons of sugar. He will sell his entire village, ask for them to come and occupy it. Do you see why ESM has come? We are the first and the last line of defense against this rapid colonization agenda. Listen to one more time, then I'll give you the proof.
Could you perhaps explain that to me? Well, the Igbos are more or less the type of people whose desire is mainly to dominate everybody. If they go to a village, to a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area. If you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, within a year they will try to emerge as headman of that camp, and so on. Well, in the past, our people were not alive to their responsibilities, because you can see from our northernization policy that in 1952, when I came here, there weren't 10 northerners in our civil service here. And I tried to have it northernized, and now all important posts are being held by northerners.
Is this policy of filling all key posts in the north solely with northerners and not with other Nigerians a temporary or permanent one?
In actual fact, what it is a northerner first.
A permanent one.
If you can't get a northerner, then we take an expatriate like yourself.
We take a Welshman, not black.
If we can't, then we can employ another Nigerian, but on contract too.
On contract.
This is going to be permanent, I should say.
Permanent.
As far as I can.
Well, it
would be rather dangerous to see the number of boys who are now turning from all our learning institutions coming out with having no work to do. I'm sure whichever government of the day might be, it will feel rather embarrassed, and it might even lead to bloodshed.
It might lead to bloodshed. It's something that's happening today. That's one thing you got right. That unemployment in the north will lead to bloodshed, which is you have Boko Haram, Fulani Jungle Buddhism, you have Fulani headsmen, you have ISIS in West Africa, you have bandits everywhere. Is it not happening now? Everything this man said is happening today. That's why I played this clip. Some of you have seen it many times over, but your brain can never digest or the magnitude of what this animal is saying. An animal is. Now let me prove to you that what this man is saying is absolutely over 60 years ago. If somebody would not make a colonization of Nigeria, what this man said, our agenda is to make sure it is northern across the Fulani first. Now listen. The Fulani oligarchy headquarters, look at the Sultan shedding his crocodile tears. That idiot. Sultan, the complete fool. The complete idiot. Shedding crocodile tears. Let's talk about one Nigeria. They know what they are doing. It's called deception back here. They know. There's some who play good cop, no referendum. They know we are playing with your mind, playing with your brain. That's what they do. Now, have you ever observed that the Fulani Caliphate, in collaboration with those they received, their KANU brothers, and to an extent Yoruba Muslims, how they have conquered Nigeria? Nigeria. I said all the affiliates. I made one simple request: go outside, just in a bar, anywhere in the world, and ask anybody, how do you see Nigeria? They'll tell Nigeria is an Islamic country. Showing you that you've been conquered. All of you, what IPOB, ESN, Biafra Nation is doing is to free you from your slavery that you don't know you are in. That is why everybody from the south, even when we're talking about one Nigeria, I look at you as an animal because you don't know you're conquered. They have conquered Nigeria. They have captured the three arms of government. Exactly what the descendant of Ottoman Danfodio said that they're going to do. But let me remind you that Ottoman Danfodio said they will dip the Quran in the Atlantic. He said, we will dip the Quran in the Atlantic. That's what Ottoman Danfodio said. Now his great grandson came out and said, we want to dominate everybody by blaming the Igbo so we dominate everybody. And one related issue of the Republic that the father used to tell the father will buy dog, buy dog from villagers in the Republic and come to the Dallas to sell. On one of those trips, the idiot met the mother of Buhari and gave her one dog for free. And the next day, before you know how to say, it's like chewing gum and biscuit in those days, and the Fanta, soft drink. With our women in the East, chewing gum, biscuit, cabin biscuit, chewing gum, sweet. It's not asked in those days. And a bit of Fanta. If you have Fanta, it's not a WhatsApp. People love it. The same thing happened. This man gave up a dog to Buhari. That's how they get to Buhari. Dog for him. It's just not in Nigeria. It's from the Republic. Buhari. Where is the progress of the food from? Those that are ruling his name is Fulani. To tell you that their modernization first agenda is now complete. Totally complete. Where is the president from? Fulani. Because there's a president, because there's no president. President is Fulani. Chief of Staff, Fulani. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Fulani. Senate President of Nigeria is KANU, of course, is Fulani. They're all the same. Deputy Speaker of the Senate is Fulani. The Army Chief of Staff is Fulani. Navy Chief of Fulani. Police IG Fulani. National Safety Advisor is KANU, of course, is some Fulani. DSS is Fulani. National Intelligence Agency Fulani. Directorate of Intelligence, Army Intelligence is Fulani. And Ministry. I'm now reminded, go back to the voice of the man you heard a while back. Go back to it. Defense, Ministry of Defense, Fulani. Ministry of Finance, Fulani. So when they steal money, nobody can say it again. That's why somebody came out and said, Fulani is stealing money. And their so-called presidency came out and said it is stealing money because they control everything. They can run papers. That was why army headquarters was alight because of the loose, stolen money. Buratai and the Fulani Janjaweed, they never wanted the paper trail to lead to them. They bombed, they set the army headquarters on fire. That is what the Fulani do and do it very well. Some of you may be too young. You don't remember somebody called Ibrahim Taher, the former Minister for Communication. His office was at the Nitel Tower in Lagos, in the Marina, Nitel Tower Marina. After stealing all the money meant for Minister of Communications, he set Nitel on fire. Go and check. That is how you know that Fulani have taken money. They set the building alight. Go and check. They set alight the Federal Inland Revenue Service in Abuja when they stole money from there. Now, Fulani as well set fire to army headquarters in Abuja. Is it very clear to you now how they rule? The Psychological Republic. That is the reason why they need to put their people everywhere. Because for them to put Rukus or them man in power, they have to make sure the Fulani man is the chief justice of Nigeria. You understand this? It's very simple. To make sure that they get their man as Ohanese President General, they need somebody from Imo State. You know, this guy, they may be driving cattle up and down, but Britain is advising them very well. And they are listening. Are you following me? To put hope on them there, the Minister of Justice, Onogen, was pursued just away from office in Abuja, just away by Mietiala. And they put Otanko, a man that read Sharia law, Chief Justice of a secular nation. That is why I think that Nigerians are mad. Believe you, Nigerians are insane. Their brain is not correct. Somebody that studied Sharia law is the head of the judicial system of the secular nation. Unbelievable. Federal County Territory Fulani, Agriculture Fulani, Police Affairs Fulani, Aviation Fulani. We need to sing song with this man. Those who play music, Aviation Fulani, Communication Fulani, Power Fulani, Water Resources Fulani, everything is Fulani. All the 19 northern governors are Fulani except the Benue, Plateau, Taraba, and Kogi. Every governor, apart from 4, the rest are all Fulani. And they are visitors, they are migrants, they are not indigenous to the place. Because Fulani have a game plan from the word go. Their game plan is to dominate and subjugate you. Dominate and subjugate. They are the ones who are the thieves. They are busy pointing at people. Hey, EFCC, it is like, whereas Fulani, nobody steals more than Fulani does. They are kleptomaniacs. That is worship. They are real highway robbers. After robbing, they point at somebody else. Oh, no, look at him. Look at him. He's under investigation. And I asked Fulani, who stole more than what a Fulani man stole? Omar Biko, when money had started, stole over 5 billion pounds in a mobile bank and bank in England. True or false? Who stole more than Abacha? Who stole more than Buhari when he was alive? The Mississippi cases have been forgotten. All of you have been forgotten. Do you know why Buhari cannot travel to USA? I went to USA. But the foreigners that claim that Nnamdi KANU is a terrorist, they cannot travel to USA. They cannot. Everybody cannot go to the US. Has it ever come to any of you before to ask, why is it that Aisha cannot go to the US? They claim they are clean. They claim they are pure. Some of you there cannot be any looting under Buhari. Buhari is dead. All of you are criminals. Buhari was a criminal himself. How? Buhari, why is it that your wife Aisha, instead of hiding in America where Imelda Marcos was also hiding another looter like herself, why is she hiding in the UAE, in Arab country? Because Aisha Buhari was implicated in a fraud perpetrated by Halliburton, a US oil-based company. True or false? Was Aisha not indicted in America for stealing? How about Atiku Abubakar, Fulani? Can he go to the US? Of course, it was a GDP at that time. How much did Atiku Abubakar steal? He was a chemical. Fulani are the ones looting the zoo. When they cannot loot unofficially, they loot officially to Dangote, who's a money launderer. He's a businessman, he's a money launderer. Who doesn't know he's a money launderer? Professor John knows. All of you keep quiet. Because when you zoo, because your brain cells are not working. People who came from Senegambia with their cattle came into your land and deceived all of you from the north. All of you. Deceived all of you. Today, all the 19 governors of the north, only 4 are not Fulani, the rest are all Fulani. And they are not indigenous to the place. Sometimes they're not even up to 40,000 Fulani in a state. And they take it over. Because you people are stupid. You are very, very foolish. Very, very foolish. It is that foolishness that you oppose on them, man. We care and also idiots are promoting in the East. They don't know the consequences. By the time the consequences of what they are doing will dawn on us, they are all dead. We are all dead. Our children will be taken over. As they have taken over the north. As they have taken over the north. Lord God, have mercy on this people. Now, I have not finished. I have given you the parastatals, I've given you the ministries. Now let me give you the key agencies headed by the Fulani Northernization Agenda, Fulani First Agenda, started by Ahmadu Bello. The one they named the university after in Zaria, Ahmadu Bello. That was the reason why Nzogu killed him. Nzogu didn't kill him because he was the Fulani. No. Nzogu killed him because he knew that the man was a reprobate. He knew the man was an evil man. How many agencies are headed by Fulani? Remember, Fulani has taken over the presidency, all the armed forces. They've taken over the rulership of all the governance in the north. By 4 only. Now, let me tell you the agencies headed by the Fulani. They have taken over everything. So even when they steal money, you can no longer know now. Because Fulani will steal from customs and tell Fulani in EFCC to burn the fire. And the fire will be burnt. EFCC, the Economic Crime Commission, whatever it is called. Fulani. NFIU, Fulani. Customs, Fulani. Immigration, Fulani. Police, Fulani. Civil defense, Fulani. NMPC, that's their private property. That's their private Fulani Janja, which is their possession, NMPC. Nobody dares come close. And some idiots are saying we are Niger Delta. We are from South. It's mad lunatics. In the creek. NMPC, Fulani. PTDF, whatever that means, Fulani. DPR, Fulani. BPRA, Fulani. Petroleum Trust, every fund, Fulani. Post Authority, Fulani. NIMASA, Fulani. NDIC, Fulani. SEC, Fulani. NICOM, Fulani. FMBN, Fulani. SHA, Fulani. NHIS, Fulani. NP. The list is endless. And you are one Nigeria. Some of you are after graduation, you're still looking for work. They have said that anywhere they put you into, one day you will emerge as the head. So you can read all the degrees you like in the zoo. Once you're a Nigerian, you can never get a job. If you're from the East. They've said it now. That is why all of you answer to illiteracy in Abuja, in the ministries. Now you understand, don't you? All the parastatals they've taken over. The Sovereign Wealth Fund of Nigeria, which is the investment arm of Nigeria, where all the money goes to. Do you know who is controlling it?